Okay, I'm so glad to hear that you guys feel like, or Alan, that you feel like you're making some progress with Ellie, because we've seen some good progress with her in the past couple days. So we've been working a lot on just responsiveness and working on that recall thing. Ellie! Pop, 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 pop. Yes! Good girl! Very nice. What we got here? Hi. What's that? Good girl. All right, let's go to your bed. Good girl. Down. Yeah. That was awesome. Good girl. So these last couple weeks, once we finish out with the initial 4 weeks, what we're really trying to build on is we're not necessarily teaching any new skills. What we are doing is trying to build what I call speed and enthusiasm for behaviors, and then starting to vary. Well, let me back up and say, when we have a behavior in a place where we like it, meaning we like the speed, we like the enthusiasm, whether it's hitting the deck for a down or coming when called or just doing name game or hand targeting. You didn't like that one? You didn't like that one? Touch. Yes. Then what we start to do is we start to vary our reward system so that we are constantly, when we start out, what we're doing is a kind of a 1-for-1 ratio. So every time you do a sit or a hand target, you get a treat. For each behavior, you get a reward. Then what we start to do is we want to start varying that reward schedule. So it's like, okay, you might have to do more things for one treat, or maybe you only get treated for the best responses, so that the dog starts to weed out the things that are kind of like not exactly where we want them to be. Ellie! Yes! Good girl! So that was really nice. Maybe she comes in and I have her do a hand target too. So she did a recall and I added a little hand target. Pop, pop, pop. Touch. Touch. Sit. Yes. So we start to make combinations of things. We did a touch, and a sit for one treat. Okay? So that the dog stops expecting things every single time. Now, this is a really tricky part of our training, because we as humans want to like speed things along. People are always like, when can I get rid of treats? When am I going to stop having a treat all the time? My answer to that is usually like, I don't know, personally never. Like, I don't care. Like, my goal isn't to never reward my dog again. I don't know why you would want to do that. Would you want to continue to work and not get paid? Like, I don't know, most people's answer would be, heck no, like, I don't want to do that. So it's the same thing for a dog. Like, I don't want to have to be rewarding them all the time, but I'm certainly going to, if I go out on a trail with my dog and he does a beautiful recall from far away, I always have cookies in my pocket. I want to be like, yeah, man, that was so good. You did such a good job. So to me, the goal isn't to fully get rid of treats, but it's not that in order to get great behaviors, I have to, that has to exist. So be very careful. If you start to see a decline in performance, like, oh, you saw something that had been really good for a while and now it's kind of like wishy-washy, but we've really cut back on how often you're rewarding, you may have kind of pushed that envelope too far. So it's a little bit of a balancing act, how we figure out how that works, right? The way I always look at it is when things get more challenging, go back to a pretty heavy reward system. If you're in an easy environment, or it's like you're asking for things that are simple for your dog, then you might not need to reward as often, okay? So, so again, we are not teaching anything new to her right now. So I don't have anything to show you like, oh, this is how we're doing this, but it's more about how we're changing up the reward system. We're looking for sort of that speed and enthusiasm, and making sure that we're really rewarding heavily for great repetitions. That would maybe be also a way to look at it. Like, average repetition, maybe you get a treat, maybe you don't. Great repetition, awesome, I'm going to give you extra treats. So we start weeding out, again, those kind of lesser desired responses. So you are doing such a good job, and we will have 2 more days with you next week, and then we'll see where you're at. Good job, girl.
Hey.